Chapter 6094. Jacob, who was looking down in tears, looked up and saw another blind BA5 tard who was even more furious. He quickly wiped away his tears, waved his hands and said, "I'm fine. I'm fine. Don't worry about me. I'm just not feeling well." The man was so busy that he asked again, "What about your son-in-law? Why hasn't he arrived yet?" Jacob said, "Already coming this way." As he said that, Charlie had already driven to the gate of the university. When he didn't see Jacob on the roadside at the door, he directly took the direction and drove the car into the courtyard of the university. When the car happened to pass by the sycamore tree, Charlie saw his father-in-law sitting slumped on the ground. So he quickly braked the car to a stop, opened the door, and walked over. Seeing that his face was full of tears and his expression was uglier than being beaten by his wife, Charlie asked with concern, "Dad, are you okay? Why are you sitting here?" Charlie asked knowingly, but also to make his performance more real. When Jacob saw Charlie, the grievances in his heart instantly found an outlet. Uncontrollably, they immediately turned into tears, which burst out of his eyes in an instant. Before he could speak, the enthusiastic student quickly said to Charlie, "You are Vice President's son-in-law, right? I don't know what's going on with him right now. I saw him crying twice. I guess I'm feeling unwell. You should take him to the hospital quickly." Charlie pretended to be surprised and asked, "Dad, what's going on? Why are you crying? Where's the matter? Where is the discomfort? I'll take you to the hospital for a checkup." Jacob gave the man a depressed look, gritted his teeth, and said, "Hey, thank you." The man didn't realize that what Jacob said was ironic, and said shyly, "Vice President, look at what you said. Why are you so polite to me? How about I accompany you to the hospital to see and help you? Maybe make a call or something." No, no, no. Jacob felt that this man was like a god of plague, and said quickly, "My son-in-law can just accompany me, I won't bother you." After saying that, he quickly stretched out his arm to Charlie. He said, "Good son-in-law, please help me, I can't get up." Charlie stretched out his hand to help him up. After thanking him, he helped Jacob get into the passenger seat. Only then did Jacob discover that Charlie was driving a Rolls-Royce. And it was a more expensive Rolls-Royce Phantom. So he asked in surprise, "Good son-in-law, where did you get this car?" This car was arranged by Sister Xian for Charlie when he left Purple Mountain Villa. And Charlie drove it back to the villa, so it's also available today. So Charlie said to him, "One of my clients lent me the car. You called me, so I brought his car over." After saying that, Charlie said again, "Dad, you are really good at it. You're crying like this, and you still care about the car. What's going on? Your friend said you've been crying for a while?" When Jacob heard this, he cursed angrily, "That idiot, he's in his 50s. But he doesn't have any FQing eyesight. He's a FQing idiot. The more you avoid the more he nags. He really deserves to be scolded." Charlie asked him, "Dad, what are you bothering about?" Jacob's face suddenly became extremely depressed again. He sighed and choked. "Charlie, your Aunt Han is getting married." "Getting married?" Charlie was curious. Asked, "With Professor what?" "Yes." Jacob gritted his teeth and cursed, "It's that BA5 tard." Charlie shrugged his shoulders and said helplessly, "They have been already together, so getting married is normal, right?" Jacob asked angrily, "Why should he? Your Aunt Han has clearly been in love with me for more than 30 years. Charlie nodded and said in a calm tone, "But you have been married for more than 30 years. Jacob seemed to have been stepped on, and said angrily, "I was in a drunken mess back then. Bah, bah, bah. That was because I was rapped 3D by Elaine after being drunk." Charlie asked back, "Dad, what's the use of talking about this now? Even if you talked about what happened more than 30 years ago, it wouldn't delay the marriage of other people's lovers." After saying that, Charlie said again, "Dad, when you are alive, you must look forward. Just because Aunt Han loved you more than 30 years ago does not mean that she will still love you now. It is a person's freedom to love who you want. You can't force it." Jacob argued with a red face and a thick neck. "When your Aunt Han just returned to China, you also went with me to pick her up. Couldn't you see that she has old feelings for me?" Charlie nodding, "I could tell." After saying that, his tone changed, and he raised his eyebrows and said, "But that is also the past tense." After saying that, Charlie added, "There is a joke that I don't know if you have heard of. It talks about a man who would give 5 yuan to the beggar at the door every day when he went out. As time went by, the beggar felt that it was only natural that he should give him 5 yuan every day. One day, the man left without giving him the money, and he was angry. The beggar went up to stop him and asked why he didn't give him the money. The man had to say, "I used the money to buy a gift for my wife." As a result, the beggar was very angry and asked him again, "Why did you buy a gift for your wife with my money?" At this point, Charlie paused slightly and then said, "So you see, Aunt Han has loved you for more than 30 years. But that is also her business. Her love can be given to you. But it does not have to be given to you forever. One day when she decides to give it to someone else, you have no right to interfere, not even the right to question." Jacob felt humiliated and asked angrily, "Charlie, do you think so too? Am I not worthy of my Ching?" Charlie drove with one hand, raised the other hand to wave, and said calmly, No, Dad, let me be honest, what you have to consider now is not whether you deserve it or not. Regarding Aunt Han, after all, she is about to marry Professor Watt. Even if you are worthy of her, if she doesn't choose you, what can you do?" Jacob asked hurriedly, "Then you mean as the wedding hasn't happened yet? Why don't I quickly try my best?" Charlie had no choice but to blurt out, "What can we save at this time? What you have to consider now is what if Mom knows that Aunt Han is going to get married? What to do? As far as I know, you have never told Mom about Aunt Han's return to China. Now if the news of Aunt Han's marriage reaches her ears, she will definitely find out what Aunt Han was doing based on her character and what you were doing when she came back. If you let her know that Aunt Han is at the university for the elderly, and has had many interactions with you, and even went to Korea for exchanges together, then your good days will come to an end."